When we write, especially narrative writing, we know that using dialogue is really important. We just need to review then a couple of rules for using dialogue so that it's easier to read it. First off, when you have more than one speaker, each speaker gets their own paragraph. Remember, new speaker, new paragraph. All the punctuation should be inside the quotation marks. Your periods, your commas, question marks, exclamation points go inside the quotation marks. And we separate the person who's speaking from their words using a comma. And finally, the first word inside the quotation marks should be capitalized. Let's take a look at a fun way to do this. Let's look at a comic strip from Calvin and Hobbes. In this comic strip, Calvin walks into the room in the first box in a very bad mood, so nobody better mess with him. In the center box, Mom's able to get him to calm down, sitting on the chair reading a nice comic book. And in the last box, he's thinking about how his mom knows everything. So there's a dialogue between Calvin and his mom. There's also the internal thinking that Calvin does. So let's look at how we might write this if it were actually written out as a story. Calvin walked into the room screaming, "I'm in a very bad mood, so nobody better mess with me today, boy." Notice I used the quotation marks around the words that Calvin said. I separate it with a comma before we get to the what Calvin said. Then we move into the second box. After getting him to sit down quietly, his mom kindly said, "Here, I got you a new comic book. Why don't you just sit on the couch and I'll make you some peanut butter crackers." "Are you comfy?" she asked. And I left off the she asked part. "Are you comfy?" Um, I guess so, Calvin replied, calmly. Now he's calmly, while thinking to himself, "Mom knows everything." Now notice this is his thinking, so I don't necessarily want to use quotation marks because that indicates people talking. In this case, I just use the italics.